There's a lot going on. I am very proud about today's special guest, Mr. Michael Sean Ronzio. How you doing today, boss?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. And where are you coming to us from today?
I'm in Virginia.
All right. So we're going to start with that part of the story because that is the most impressive part. So you got started with FFL probably 9, 10 months ago, about that, right?
Just about a year now.
So about a year, unlicensed, living down here in Florida.
Correct.
So you were having some success down here, not the crazy success you were looking for, and you decided you had to make a move and make something happen. So talk to us a little bit about what that looked like.
Yeah, so I was doing all right, down in Florida, and essentially what had happened was I ran into a family issue. I had a month where I submitted $20,000 in business, and then I ran into some family issues, and I had a hard time mentally recovering from that. But I didn't want to spend a bunch of time trying to focus on recovering from that. So what I did was I just kept investing into my business, but my mindset wasn't right. So I kind of lost traction, if you would. So essentially what happened was I was trying to get back on my feet. So what I did was I took every lead that I've ever purchased that was unresolved and I put it in the phone burner. I would just dial aimlessly just to stir something up. Another thing that I was interested in was learning how to use the back end of my license and contact some of my clients that I already have and maybe talk to them about IULs or annuities. I was unfamiliar with the process and I was trying to learn. And I actually connected with Danielle Bryan and she helped me draw up an illustration for one of my clients. And honestly, that illustration really changed my whole perspective on what I got my hands on because I realized how life-changing these products really could be. So me and her, we worked together. We had good chemistry on that project. And, I had to move out of Florida anyways. So she basically told me that if, I came out to Virginia, she has some access leads. She's got a lot of counties locked out and she would kind of help me get back on my feet. So I took her up on her offer and it's been life-changing.
That's awesome, bro. And your goal now, you're going to be in Virginia for the short term and your goal is to get to Illinois. Do you have a time frame for that?
Well, to be completely honest with you, I'm more than likely, I'm going to end up renting a place out here and traveling back and forth to Illinois. I really like it out here. The people out here are great. It's awesome working with Danielle and her team. So yeah, I also anticipate that I anticipate that my submitted and issue paid numbers are going to go up dramatically once I get my feet planted out here. Right now, I'm kind of balancing a lot of things out with the transition. I'm kind of bouncing around from Airbnbs with the family and trying to figure things out. I'm looking for a place for rent currently, but I know that once I secure a place for rent and I'm not worried about moving here and there, I'm really going to hit the ground running and just really focus on submitting a lot of business and helping a lot of families.
I love that. And what I love about your story and knowing you is, you were doing okay, like you said here, but you weren't getting to that next level. You had some family stuff going on and you just made a decision that you were going to go talk to some other people in FFL outside of our group, because you obviously have good people you work with, to get some guidance. And then also to kind of go where the lead flow was. And you weren't afraid of that. And I commend you for that because you were kind of on the brink that a lot of agents can be on, where they need to make something happen. And a lot of people, honestly, they fold instead of going and making it happen. And you made a decision that you were going to make it happen and this was going to work. I'd assume you made that decision because you don't have a backup plan. Would that be safe?
Well, the thing is that, I looked at the statistics before I even joined Family First Life, and statistics prove that most people do fail in this business, unfortunately. You have to push through, and my reason why far exceeds my selfish needs. And my reason why is what keeps pushing me, which is my children. And honestly, this gives me a chance to not just build a better life for me and my children, but actually create generational wealth, not for me or my kids, but for my kids' kids. And that's life-changing.
I love that. You have a beautiful family. You have a very supportive wife. I want to talk about that a little bit, because was she on board the whole time? How was it when you were struggling? How do you keep her on board with the vision and the goals that you have for you and your family?
That's actually a huge part of it. I have a tremendous amount of support at home. She knew when I got into the business that, I was going to go all in, and that, she might not see me as frequently. And she stepped up tremendously in the house. And, she's doing a lot of transitioning herself from being a business owner herself into more or less a parent, full time. So she's been super supportive. She continues to be supportive. She helps me with some secretary work. She also helps me buy leads when my lead flow is running low. So yeah, she does a lot to support the business. So I think that's a huge part of it. If you have a spouse, they need to be supportive, or it's not going to work.
Yeah, 100%. Got to get everybody on board. And you mentioned obviously the sacrifice of time and things of that nature. You're on pace. You'll probably help 30 families, if not more, this month, based on what you've done so far and what you've submitted, which is incredible. It'll be your best month, basically on a Hall of Fame pace, which is awesome. Very, very proud of you for that. Doing a lot of good things. Let's talk about the lead flow a little bit, because, you got a little bit of mortgage, not a ton. And you use a lot of different vendors, and you're not afraid to try different vendors. So talk to us about some of the different things you try.
So from my experience personally, I feel like if you don't diversify, your business dies, and that's from my experience. I was running mostly instant internet leads. That's pretty much mostly what I ran in Florida. But when things started getting tough, I started learning with different other vendors. I like the game time, non-med term leads, the pastors and nurses, those work for me really well. I also buy a lot of age stuff off the CRM, such as age mortgage, age final expense mailers are good. Pretty much anything I can get my hands on. So I just try to mix in as much as I can, and if something's not working, I just switch vendors. And in all honesty, I actually recently found a new vendor that is got some really fair prices. I'm going to check them out and see how they turn out, and if they're good, I'll definitely keep you posted so you get your agents some new lead sources.
Yeah, I love that. Talk to us a little bit about fear, because I feel like your story, what you probably went through, fearful, you're in a new business. I know you did a little bit of insurance before here. But talk to us about kind of the fears you probably had getting into this, and then some of the fears you had when things weren't going exactly the way you wanted them, and how you conquered the fears.
So that's a tough one. When it comes to fear, when I came to Family First Life, the fear was very minimal. I watched the trainings, and out of all the things that I understood, the main thing I understood was that if I'm coachable and I follow the system, and I take the money I make and reinvest into my business, that there will be success. So I didn't really have fear coming into it, because I knew I was willing to do those things it would take to get to where I needed to be. But when I hit the hard times, and I had a hard time, recreating the momentum in my business, I don't know if fear was the right word for it. I just knew I had to do something and make a move in some direction. And honestly, the biggest fear is being broke. So that's pretty much it.
We should put that on a t-shirt, because that is the truth, my friend. Speak the truth. So the other day you had a tough day in the field, and you went and made something happen. So tell me a little bit about that story of what you did to make a big, massive sale and protect some retirements for some young people on Friday.
Yeah, so I had 4 appointments for the day and 4 no-shows. And then on top of that, I did some door knocking. And then the last guy I door knocked was, borderline rude to me. And I kind of just felt a little off my game. I figured I would transition and maybe do some follow-up work. So what I did was I called one of my old clients that has, he's got autistic children. And I know that his biggest concern is taking care of his family when he dies. So essentially what I did was I asked him if he would allow me to show him how to make his kids their own bank. And, we sat down, and I showed him a couple of illustrations for some IULs. And essentially these IULs are going to grow a nice cash value for them and have a nice death benefit. And these kids are going to have access to cash flow off of money that he's putting into the policies. And then the way I did the illustration was only pay for 16 years per kid to respect his retirement years. So this way he's not paying into the policy during his retirement. He still has access to cash flow. These are really life-changing products that we got here. Another cool thing about it is that he's paying taxes on the money he's putting in. So when his kids use the money, it's tax-free.
I love that. And here's what I love about that most. Two things. One, you made something happen when you weren't having a great day, which, let's face facts, we all have days where we don't have great days, every single one of us. And if anybody tells you that they always have great days, they're lying. Number two, you are learning things and going out of your way to train yourself, because if I would have asked you about that scenario 6 months ago, you wouldn't have known what the hell was the story on that, but now you do. So in addition to talking to Danielle, what is the time that you put into learning your craft and training in addition to your time in the field?
I learn every single day, Steve. To me, learning is just part of my day. I think that you always got to be taking in knowledge. And for me personally, I have a big desire on learning how to use the back end of my license and helping people with retirement planning and, setting their children up for success and stuff like that. Because, insurance is amazing and that's our bread and butter, but there's just so much more to what we do. And once you get your hands on how that stuff kind of works, it's really a no-brainer to help people out with that because of how beneficial it is to their family. So as for training, I train every day. I listen to a lot of Sean Ruggiero, the AMS live trainings. I listen to pretty much everybody, and especially in the morning. So, and that's one thing I want to touch base on eventually is the morning routines. But, I noticed from myself personally, if I ever wake up and I make a pot of coffee and I scroll Facebook, my day is kind of screwed. For some reason, it throws me off my game. But if I wake up and listen to some sort of podcast or something that's going to get your wheels turning in that direction of success, it changes your whole vibration for the day. And that's huge.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. You were talking to me about this before, and it really impressed me. You mentioned like kind of having that health and wealth mindset and mentality as the way you're kind of living your life now. You look good. You look like you're pumping some weights there, I'm sure, in the morning time. So how has that worked in your favor, your routines and what you're doing in the way of like taking care of yourself, exercise, and just structuring your day in business?
So there's a couple things. It goes good for me. I mean, one of the biggest things is that gut health is really important. If you could control your gut, you control your mind, and everything else kind of falls into place. I think that the gut health is kind of underrated in our society. But just for example, when you eat something, digestion takes precedent over everything that goes on in your body. So if you're in the field and you eat a heavy meal, your body's working to digest that stuff and you get sluggish and tired. So when I eat, I try to eat for success. Like, what does your body really need? It needs nutrients and water. So if you're giving life to your body and eating things like broccoli or plants, vegetables, nuts, things that are grown from the earth, you're going to give your body life and you're going to have energy that's sustainable to get you through the day. And it makes a massive difference. So I try not to eat anything heavy in the field. I do like to eat, don't get me wrong, but your body's not going to get what it needs from a piece of pizza or some tacos, which, that's just how it goes. As for like morning routines, I think morning routines are crucial. I think part of what we do is like, I call it like protecting your energy. Like everyone knows of the currency that's called money. Some people understand the currency that's called time. But energy is also a currency, and every single thing you do throughout the day affects your energy tank, right? And I'm just going to give you two examples. Just bear with me for a minute. The first example is you have a long day in the field, right? You're 10 minutes from home and your gas light goes on and you're like, oh, forget it. I'll get it tomorrow morning. You get home, you're tired, you do whatever you do to unwind, turn on the TV, scroll Facebook, drink a beer, whatever it might be. And then you wake up late and now you're late, you're scrambling to get out the door. You're put right into the morning traffic because you're running late. You get stuck behind the bus. You got to get gas, etc. All those things take a toll on your energy tank. And then when you finally get in front of your client, they're going to sense that negative energy of all those things that have been piling up against you. The other way that you can protect your energy is by just getting the gas the night before. As soon as you get home, you should be going through your leads and your appointments for the next day and getting organized and visualizing your goals and writing your goals down. So this way you just have a game plan. Then you go through your unwinding. And if you wake up early, you end up at the gym, listen to a podcast, and you're in the right mindset, leave on time, all your energy is going to line up. And when you get in front of that client, they're going to sense that positive energy just flowing through you because you were well prepared for your meeting with them.
I love that, man. And I agree with you. And I can see, because I've known you pretty well now working with you, like you've had a transformation in the last like probably 3 months from when I first met you. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me was just putting the knowledge I have like to work, like knowledge isn't power, applied knowledge is power. And I have all this stuff about health and mindset and all these things, but I kind of fell into a rut essentially. So yeah, I mean.
Yeah. And what's great now is you're also not confused that the training and the time and the stuff, the mental stuff is going to go and make the money for you and help the families for you. It's the activity and it's the mixture of the two. So talk to us a little bit about kind of your activity, appointment count, how your dial set up, like what that looks like.
Well, my schedule has changed a little bit since I moved out here. Not that I want to change the system or anything, but typically what I've been doing is dialing on Wednesdays, booking for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I usually spend Sunday with the family, and then I dial at night for about 4 hours. And then I run appointments on Monday, but I also dial in the morning and in between appointments. So I still run Monday like a dial day, but I'm also in the field. And then I run Tuesday, Wednesday, or yeah, just Tuesday, and Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday I'm dialing again. Besides that, for activity, I always line up my door knocks. I use, what's it called? Road Warrior. I'm sorry. Yeah, this slipped my mind. I use Road Warrior to map out my door knocks, and I make sure that if I have an appointment, I got door knocks set in that area. So if I get no-showed, I'm not questioning what to do. I just go straight into my door knocks in that area. And I just try to constantly stay on the grind. I treat it like a job. I mean, essentially, if I got 3 or 4 appointments in a day, I don't have downtime. Like if I'm not running appointments, I'm door knocking. If I'm not door knocking, I'm making calls. And if I'm not making calls, I'm doing follow-ups. And honestly, that's something that I want to touch base on too, is the follow-ups, because I think that's super crucial. And when I was working in Florida, I kind of had this mentality of like, set it and forget it. Like I'd run in the field, set these appointments up, submit the applications, and then like if they go through, like I'm done, but really I've been working on my follow-up game because I know it needs work, and I take it very seriously. So I have a certain posture about myself when I do my follow-up work. I'm very assertive, and I still treat it like if I was just dialing the lead. So like if they need, let's say I need a signature from them for Mutual of Omaha, I'll call them, and I don't even tell them that I need the signature, right? I just tell them that I got them approved and I need to bring their policy out to them. Does 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. work better? And I give them the option to pick. And then I just show up there and I give them their application, I get the signature, and I go. So like, I'm just structuring it so like it gets done in a timely manner, and I don't let the customer have control. Like if I need to do a phone interview or they need to do a phone interview, I call them and I tell them, hey, does 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. work better? You need to contact the carriers. And then they give me a time, and I'll tell them the carrier is going to be expecting a call at that time, and I give them the phone number. So this way they're like prepared to make that phone call and get it done. I put pressure on them so it gets done in a timely manner. So the follow-up game is definitely something I needed to work on. It's something I've been proactive about.
I like that. It's doing all the things that you need to do to get business to issue, which is, sometimes it could be a lost art, and it's something that we all have to work on better because we all need to do a better job of getting stuff through the pipeline. Now, team-wise, haven't done a ton yet in building your team. I know it's something that you have desire for. Are there things that you're doing now to try and get the word out to people, warm market, cold market, to build a group under yourself?
Honestly, I could be doing a tremendous amount more. I'm really just kind of like posting on social media and working warm market a little bit, but nothing crazy. Once I get my feet planted out here and I have a steady flow of like leads and income and everything's kind of, I'm not bouncing around from Airbnb to Airbnb. I'm going to focus more on the recruiting aspect of it. And I'll probably do that by running, Indeed ads or something along those lines. And yeah, just however things like that pretty much.
Okay. Makes sense. Now, you struggled in the beginning on the phone. It was definitely like you were good in the house, you just weren't in enough houses, and you struggled on the phone. And it sounds to me in my conversations with you that you're getting a lot better on the phone. So what are some of the things that you've done to get yourself to a better level to book more appointments?
Well, the thing is, like, when it comes to your script, it's like a system, right? And systems have moving parts, and you can usually tell which moving part is failing by when you lose people in the conversation. So if you're losing people right up the front, you got to change your intro a little bit. If you're losing people in the middle, you got to change your questions a little bit. If you're losing them at the end, you got to change your tie down. So I just kind of tried to figure out where I was losing people and kind of just tweak and fine tune it until I had like a well-oiled machine. Another thing is working on my tie downs, because I still get no-showed a lot. So it's like I'm trying to work at getting better at really like strapping the load down. But yeah, I keep evolving it until I get it to where I want it to be, and then I use it.
And you're closing more in the in-homes. So what are some of the little things, you don't have to walk me through the whole thing, but some of the little things that maybe you've learned along the way, heard along the way, that is helping you close at a higher level?
Well, I think that I think a big part of it is my posture in the home, and actually, that's actually how I build rapport with my clients. Like, I don't small talk people to death. I personally don't like small talk too much, so I try not to small talk other people. But when I sit down with people, I'm very assertive, lots of eye contact. And I think that my posture builds rapport with people and it builds credibility. I present myself like a professional, and I've really gotten good at how do I say, challenging the clients. Like, I'm not scared to challenge people at all, and I think it's helped me because it went from, like, when you first start, I wouldn't really call it nerves, but you don't want to challenge people because you don't want to mess things up, and it's like I just let all that go when I really realized what we have our hands on here at Family First Life and with these products. I know that these are life-changing products, so I'm not scared to challenge people at all. And that's pretty much it. I just have strong posture and I challenge people.
I love that. So give us one last thing. This has been great. Super duper proud of everything you're doing, and I see huge things for you. Give us kind of one last thing for everybody, to just take away from this call, if they're struggling, and how they can take themselves to the next level, and kind of get through struggles.
Well, if it was just one piece of advice, it would be take care of your health first, because your health is your first vehicle to get you anywhere where you got to go. If there's something that's going on mentally or something going on in your life, there's different things you could do, such as diet, exercise, eating nutrition, drinking lots of water. You want to balance yourself out. Otherwise, if you got some mental health issues and you're eating like, garbage, then you're going to feel like garbage and you're going to present yourself like garbage. So it starts with your health, and let that be your first vehicle.
Love that, man. And you know what? You'll springboard some great success just off of that alone. Well, I'm very, very proud of you. You've done a great job. I'm really excited to watch the rest of your journey and watch how you're going to train agents on your team, because I think you speak very well, and I think that's going to come across when you're building a team. So thank you for all you do, and I just look forward to watching you.
All right, Steve, have a blessed day, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, boss.
All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap. Great interview, Michael. Awesome to get to know your story and you. Steve, awesome job interviewing. And let's go out and protect American families. Let's keep this momentum going. We're on pace to have a record month. Let's not take the foot off the gas now. No brakes, all gas, baby. Let's hit 1.5 million and keep blowing the roof off this thing. All right, let's end on that. Look forward to seeing you all next week and reviewing numbers and getting even more excited. Talk to y'all soon.